If you are anything like me, you are desperate to get healthy, but you have no idea where to begin. Well, that's where my guest today comes in. Her name is Liz Rodriguez, and she is a transformation coach, helping women get back to the best versions of themselves, if not an even better version than they once were. So stay tuned, Abounding and Alive. Hey, everybody, welcome back to my show, Abounding and Alive, a show where we talk about people in their healing journeys and the people that help them get there. If you have ever watched my other show, Two Girls Without Cancer, then my next guest is no stranger to you. She was on our show about, I don't know, within the last year, and she's amazing, as all my guests are, but I specifically brought her back because I love what she's doing to help people, especially people like me and my age and older. I thought that she would be a great resource for my listeners. So without further ado, here is Liz.
Hey
Howdy.
there. Yay.
Hey.
Thanks for having
Okay,
me
so
back.
I didn't want to give you much of an intro because I didn't want to take away from, anything or get it wrong. So I just was going to let people hear what you had to say. So who are you? What do you do?
Yeah. Liz Rodriguez, everybody. Thanks for having me on.
Yes.
So I am a transformation coach. So I am sort of, I guess you could say, one of those hybrid coaches that has been in the industry now. I've been in the fitness industry for 20 years, my whole career.
Mm-hmm.
Started out sort of very similar to a lot of my colleagues. I was a college runner. I went to school for exercise science. I became a personal trainer because I wanted to help people. And I did that for many, many years. I got into management really early. I went into like nutrition coaching and small group training and Pilates and worked at like lots of different clubs and all that. And so I was really able, I think, to see a lot of really cool changes that has happened in the industry for the last 20 years.
Yeah.
And really also grow into the clientele that I work with now. Like I'm in my 40s now, and there's a lot of us. There's a lot of geriatric millennials out there.
Geriatric millennials. I love it.
And we're sort of an interesting breed. Like we're hitting
Mhm.
this time where our parents are getting older, we're getting older, we're not feeling the same. And so primarily the women that I work with are perimenopausal, and they are frustrated with weight gain and with different health things that come up, right? And
Mhm.
they're sort of figuring out like, I know I have a long time to live, and like, how can I make those years great? How can I feel good in my body, knowing that I'm not going to be 25 anymore? And like, I don't want to be 25. I want to feel good
Right.
with where I'm going. And so I essentially work with women and a little bit on everything. I like to say that that's really why I sort of changed my name of like going from a health coach to a transformation coach, because
Mhm.
everybody that I work with, we talk about, which I've actually met with Becky before, like we need to talk about stress and nutrition and fitness and like your social circle and all of these things,
Gosh,
because
and protein.
and protein and
That's
fiber,
like the main thing.
and how are you going to not battle, how are you going to manage taking care of yourself as
Mhm.
well as whomever else is in your life, whether it's a
Literally.
spouse and our children and our family members and all those things. So,
It is tough, okay? Like if you are someone like me who's been through some stuff, just don't beat yourself up because it's pretty normal, I would say, or pretty common that your body has changed or you don't feel optimal. You don't feel like your 25-year-old self, that's for sure. Your knees probably hurt, your back probably hurts, and you're probably tired. I hear this from a lot of people. Like I do blood analysis. I get a lot of clients in who are like, I am just so tired. And it's
mhm.
like, I've always heard, well, you need to do some more exercise to like boost your energy, to feel better, to not feel depressed. Man, when I was kind of in the heat of my recovery post cancer, I think I was depressed, honestly, because I wasn't moving my body. I
Mhm.
wasn't moving. And it's like, you don't use it, you lose it. I know that's like an old saying, but it's actually pretty true. You don't use it, you lose it. You feel pretty awful. And
Mhm.
so now, trying to get back into it for the last few months, my mental health has never been better.
Exactly, and I think what's really great is that, being able to know that there are people out there, different specialists that can help
Mhm.
you with so many things, and I
Yeah.
like to say that, I'm gonna be that person in the beginning where let's sort of look at dotting the I's and crossing the T's. Let's
Mhm.
let's make sure that you're already creating these great healthy habits and that you're feeling good about what you're doing,
Yeah.
and then it's so much easier actually than, like, if the blood work still needs to be done or the
Mhm.
hormones are off, you
Mhm.
actually already I mean, and to think I always think, like, what is my client going through? And, like,
Mhm.
who are they gonna be communicating with? And, like, what's that professional gonna say? Because the first thing that they're gonna go to is, "Well, what's your sleep like? What's
Yeah.
your nutrition? What are your" and if you already have those things, we'll say you have a bit of a plan, it's gonna put you ahead of the curve so that then when you go to people, like, you're getting your blood work from Becky, or you go to a dietitian because of your hormonal levels or whatever it is, you have better information, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, of course. I mean, you like for people who come to me, it's like, yeah, no, I don't sleep well. I don't eat well. I'm stressed out. I have this, and this going. And it's like, well, like, were you expecting to see something good then? Like,
Mhm.
or, like, let's say people come to you if they're like, yeah, I'm ready to change my life. Oh, but like, I also am not changing my diet or my sleep or my stress habits. Like, you can be in the gym all you want. You can eat all you want. But if you're not if you're not focusing on all the other externals, like, you're probably not gonna get very far.
Exactly, and I think it's a matter of I think a lot about our generation and how we grew up and sort of we were sort of promised that we could have everything,
Oh,
right?
yeah, totally.
Like, you're gonna go to college, and you're
Yeah,
gonna get a husband, and you're gonna have kids, and you're gonna have the house, and you're gonna have this great job, and you're gonna
yeah,
and we can have all of those things, but I think on the other sense, you get to an age where you need to level set of, like, what are your priorities and what's important for you?
yeah.
And knowing that, like, it's absolutely okay for you to make time to have meals. It's okay for you to make time to meditate, to take a longer shower, like, whatever it
Yeah.
is, you don't need to earn self-care. You don't need to
No.
earn the right to go to the gym, like and I think that a lot of
Mhm.
what I do in the beginning is just saying, "What is it that you want?" And then let's figure out, like, how can you start to integrate it into your life instead of
Yeah.
saying, "So you want me to add another 4 hours of shit to my week?" Because that's, like, not conceivable, right? But I think
Literally.
it's all, like, stealing from people like James Clear and talking about, atomic habits and habit
Yes.
stacking and things like that. I think it helps take the pressure off of people a little bit.
I actually listened to a podcast the other day. Now it was like more of like a spiritual or like a Christian one, but she
Mhm,
was talking about those habits. It was about fitness and she was saying like read Atomic Habits first of all. And secondly, it's
mhm,
like you need to literally just do it. You can't say, "Oh, I'm going to go here, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to meal prep, whatever." If you don't have that habit in place, you don't have that schedule, those intentions set out ahead of time,
mhm.
you're not going to succeed. And that's me. I know that's me. I was listening to this podcast and I was like, duh, it's me. Cause like meal prep, ew, I would rather just do it on the fly. Oh, I don't have groceries. Well, I guess I'm eating chips for dinner. It's like, I'm so bad at that. And Ashley, so who you had met, my former co-host,
Mhm,
she's like a meal prep junkie. And her doctors had told her it's probably the reason why she survived what she had gone through with her stage 4 diagnosis because she was so diligent in everything that she was doing. Her body was
mhm,
very healthy because of that strict routine. And
mm.
I can't help but think, like, for someone like me who literally wings it, gosh, like, think of how much stronger you would have been or could have been if you just weren't so friggin' lazy sometimes. And I
Well,
often think it's
I think
lazy.
it's not lazy, I think it's just a matter of sometimes I think it's such a combination. I do a lot of mentoring of, like, I'm getting much more into I'm still doing the coaching, but I've been spending the last year a lot of times helping to open up some Pilates studios and mentoring
Oh,
new
cool.
instructors and, like, all that stuff.
Very
So,
cool.
I love, like, the mentoring on each side because I have found that mentoring trainers and instructors is it's really the same thing as we'll say mentoring clients, like, working
Mhm.
with them. It's, like, kind of all the same.
Yeah.
And I think it's always a matter of saying, like, people are walking in that door and they are integrating health into their life, and you have to figure out like how to get them to continue to come back and don't
Mhm.
make it so hard. Why does everything always have to be about like you need to like sweat really hard and you need to like cut out all of this? Like it's always so extreme.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like, that's not life. That would be like you going into work and then being like, okay, so we're going to start 7 projects at the same time. And you're like, why would we do that?
Yeah, I know, and I feel that way. I am like a 100% or a 0% person, but
Yep.
it's like maybe if I lived in that 75 to 80%, even in the beginning, maybe if I'm at 50%, like, yeah,
Mhm.
I don't need to go to the gym 7 days a week, but maybe you start at 2 or 3 days a week and see how you feel. And maybe I don't dive right into salad and steamed broccoli and boiled chicken every
Right?
day. Maybe, 2 or 3 times a week, I meal prep and do, like, a really good clean. I don't know.
Mhm.
I'm trying to
Doing it
figure out
small.
those tools that work for me because clearly all or nothing doesn't work for
No.
someone like me who is a little, a little chaotic.
Well, and coming back to that podcast that you mentioned, I imagine too that they spoke on, willpower only works for so long, and
Yeah,
that's really why it's a matter of like putting things in place where like you're not going to wake up every day and say like I'm so excited to go to the gym. It's
right.
and so you can't wait for that. Like
Mhm,
it's more of a matter of knowing what are your priorities and like why do you do that. What
mhm,
else was I going to mention on that? And I think just also knowing that like this all of these things that we talk about today, these are like life habits. These are things that we need to do
mhm,
as humans.
mhm.
And obviously you're in Canada, I'm in the US. We're a bit of a capitalist society. We could talk about that on a whole nother podcast. But we are at a point that I almost feel like I have to tell people that yes, I know that going to the gym is not going to make you money, but it is going to make your health span go longer. Like it's a matter of saying sometimes you really have to look at priorities and like how you spend your time, because I do
Right.
feel like, because I work with a lot of type A women that run their own businesses, prior
Mhm.
athletes, and it's like not every part of your day is like this revenue making machine. Like
Totally.
sometimes it's just a matter of saying like, oh my god, this is what I need to do for my me, like for my body.
Fair. Well, I mean, as a former sick person, health is wealth. I was making decent money at my job. I was a manager at a construction place, and I chose to not go back there. I
Mhm.
chose to not have that 40-hour a week corporate grind, which meant, no longer getting a paycheck or health insurance or benefits or whatever, extended care. Because to me, being healthy and having less stress was worth way more than just having a good paycheck. Now, I'm very blessed that I have a husband who makes money also, but like if I was a single person, it might be a different story.
Mhm.
But, just for me in that moment, focusing on my health made me a heck of a lot wealthier than making paychecks.
And it's a matter of saying, like, there's a lot of different ways that you can live your life. And I think people our age, we're at this weird, you got like the Zoomers below us that are like doing a great job at like doing whatever
Sure.
they want to do. They're like, life is short. You guys are destroying
Yeah.
the planet. We figure we might as well just live how we want to live. And you have people that are older than us, right?
Right.
Raised by boomers, where like everything is sort of like this in life.
Mhm.
And I think there's a lot of in between. And that's really what I stress to people is it doesn't need to look one way. Like even
Mhm.
mentioning like you're like just heading to the gym 2 or 3 times a week might not even make it to the gym. You might
Yeah.
be doing some home workouts or
Yeah.
adding time like where you have your lunch hour and you go for a walk outside. Like
Right.
it can fit into your life as you want it, just as we all know now that like we have different ways that we can work, whether that's
Yeah.
working for ourselves or being independent contractors or working for a job and maybe it's working part-time now. Like
Mhm.
I think it's a matter of saying you don't have to do everything a certain way, whether we're talking about your career, your health and fitness, because they all intertwine, right?
Mhm. Well, actually, so the podcast of mine that came out last week, and then there's a part 2 coming out today, we're talking about this, especially for women who dim their lights to try and fit into a certain societal norm or what your parents expected of you or what their
Yeah.
parents expected of them. It's like how you don't actually have to fit into that anymore because like loving yourself and being joyful in yourself and your own situation is a heck of a lot more important than just meeting everyone's standards for you.
Oh my God. Yeah. I think about that all the time. And I think the happier that you are, the more that like on a, you know, on a spiritual level, like you're going to give off more positive energy to other
Yeah.
people and they're going to need that. Like, do you ever come into contact with people that you're like, this person like needs a hug. This person, like someone needs to talk to
Yeah.
this person today. And if
Yeah.
you're in the right mindset, like you're going to spread more to other people. And I believe that. Like, I think that
Mhm.
it's important. Like when we're healthy, there's something else that we give off to other people.
Yeah. I see a lot of clients, right, through my business, and not a lot of them have great cellular activity, right? Because of lifestyle, because of stress, because of food choices, because of past diseases, because of drinking, because whatever reason, pharmaceuticals, that's a big one.
Mhm.
But some of them come in and they're just miserable. And I'm like, I feel for them. I'm like, part of it is not really your fault. Like one person in particular, I won't get into details, but was on a lot of medication, a lot of mood stabilizer medication, and had a lot. And like when I look at their blood, it's like a lot of liver stress, a lot of gut stress, and it's like, I feel for this person because I really think that their doctor just medicated them to be like a zombie.
Mhm.
And it's someone like that where you're like, "Let me just hug you and tell you that everything's gonna be okay, and if you just make a couple of changes, life's gonna feel really great for you."
Mhm.
But, obviously, I'm not gonna touch my clients, but, like, you know, but yeah,
Virtual hug.
yeah, right? But hopefully, this person coming to see me gave them the hope that there is a difference, and, like, their blood doesn't have to look like this, meaning their body doesn't have to feel like this anymore. And,
Mhm.
this person was in a lot of pain, mentally and physically, and it's like, you don't have to live like that.
No, and we're like these amazing creatures that,
Yeah.
we can continue to see improvement. Like I always bring up, I have an 87-year-old client who is
Wow.
still seeing improvements with their movement. Like,
Wow.
guys, like, it's, it can happen. Like our bodies, they wanna be healthy, and I think that
Literally.
unfortunately, we have a lot of things that come at us, whether it's we're talking about, technology and lack of
Mhm,
social communication and the foods that we eat and what's in the
mhm.
food and all that. There's a lot of strikes against us, and unfortunately, sometimes it's just a matter of one is definitely seeking out people that you feel are knowledgeable, have the right knowledge
Mhm,
for you.
mhm.
That you feel like, okay, I have questions on these things. Like, okay, she talks about fiber. Like, so where do I get this information about this? Or she
Yeah.
talks about exercise. I think that part is really, really important. And then on the other sense of it, which you just touched on, is knowing that one size does not fit all. You don't have
Mhm.
to start all these things at the same time. And just knowing that sometimes you just got to do the little things. And then as your body changes and all of a sudden you feel better, that's when the willpower does kick in and you say, like, wow, I want to keep feeling that way
Yeah.
instead
Yeah,
of this way.
really. Yeah, I know I had sent my friend a message a couple weeks ago just leaving the gym, and I was like, "I why don't we do this all the time?" Like, I feel so good right now leaving the gym.
Mhm.
Like, my head is clear. I feel a good amount of tired. I'm not tired because I'm laying on my couch. I'm tired because I've actually put in the work today. And I was like, I feel fantastic. You feel accomplished. And again, not saying that the gym is for everybody by any means, but just moving my body after, quite a few months slash 2 years of doing very minimal, it feels good. Your body does want it. Like you said, your body wants to be healthy. It actually even knows how to be healthy. It just needs the right tools to get it back on track.
Totally, totally. And I love that you're doing the blood work and everything because I always feel like that's such
Mhm.
the easiest place to start. Like, where I think as women, we know underlying, like, I think that we always know when like shit's going on. Like
Yeah,
I suffered
right.
from, which we talked about a little bit last time. Like I went through back surgery back in 2018,
Yeah.
but it was really about 5 years of just not feeling right. Like
Mhm.
we would go to the gym and do different things, and I would get upset because I'm like, this doesn't feel right, or I couldn't stand for long periods. Like I was in a lot of denial for it for a
Mhm.
while, and it wasn't really until I like got the call from the specialist that was like, "We got your MRI results back. Are you like at work?" Yeah. Did you drive there? Yeah. Yeah, you shouldn't be driving. You need to get surgery like in
Oh
2
my
weeks.
gosh.
And it was like one of those things where I remember I broke down because I
Yeah.
was like, I knew there was something wrong and I didn't know what I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
And that's like what drives me because I know there's women that wake up every single day that they don't know what they're supposed to do. And it's like, if we can give them just a couple of tools to get on the right track, that's what I'm supposed to be doing. That is what I'm
Mhm.
supposed to be doing in life, you know?
Mhm. Again, a lot of people who come to me go, I just don't know where to begin. And
Yeah.
so, talking to a transformational coach is a great place to begin. Getting your blood done is a great place to begin. Now, I will say, if you go to your doctor and get like a CBC, like a full panel,
Mhm.
and you fall within those norms, the average, it might say that you're normal, but you might still feel off, right?
Mhm.
Because those median numbers are based on a fairly unhealthy population.
Yeah.
And if you're on the high end of the norm, but your optimal is at the low end of the norm and you still fall into normal, you probably don't feel great. So I think that's why, like, working with functional medicine type doctors or naturopathic practitioners, or even someone like me who does blood analysis, it gives you a good baseline of what's going on. And sometimes for people, just seeing it live is good confirmation. I had a lady break down and cry at my desk because she's been told by her doctors for a couple years now, there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with your gut. All these pains that you're having, all the reactions you're having are basically in your head. And then for her to see how much inflammation was in her gut, cellularly, she broke down in tears. They were happy tears, honestly. Just
Mhm.
to know I'm not crazy and this gives me a jumping off point. Now I know exactly what to start working on.
Mhm.
So, meeting with somebody who has a little bit of knowledge in certain areas to push you along is actually not the worst idea.
No, and it's actually exactly what transformation and health coaches and nutrition coaches, like, we are. I always tell people that we've our healthcare system in the US, if you get cancer, if you get different things, like, you got to get surgery and stuff, it's a good place to be, right?
Mhm.
Unfortunately, with the preventative part, I'm going to mention a name that's like starting to get a little bit more steam with his new book out, and he was just, I think, on 60 Minutes because I watched the segment. Peter Attia, and he really
Mhm.
speaks on how we need this new wave of what we're going to call health 3.0, right? So think
Mhm.
1.0 was, we created vaccines, we pasteurized milk, we literally doubled our lifespan, right? So that happened about like 100 years ago, maybe
Mhm.
80 years ago. And then we go into kind of phase two, where we're learning more about different diseases and like doing heart surgeries and like all that stuff.
Right.
But the problem is that we're still very much a reactive
Yes.
system, right? Like, you're borderline diabetic, they're not going to give you anything until you are. But what about all of those preventative measures? So
Yeah.
I do always mention to people too, like, check out his book. He also, and he's got YouTube videos and stuff. We actually just did at the gym 2 days ago. He has a bunch of different little physical tests that you can do to sort of see where you fall. And his ideal is that you're going to fall like within sort of like the top like 10 to 15% of your, I think it's, I might have them wrong. Sorry, Peter, if you listen. You want to be sort of towards the higher end percentage of like your age group that you're in. So it's
Yeah.
everything from like different cardio tests, flexibility
Mhm.
tests, strength tests. So if you're really curious in terms of where should your body be, there's a lot of stuff out there that's going
Yeah,
to give you
there
like
is.
an easy indication of, this is what you should be doing. Just like if you go to a nutrition coach, they're going to give you different numbers than if you saw a dietitian. Again, when it's more
Mhm.
within the healthcare system, it's sort of like, let's make sure you don't die.
You're
As
right.
you get into specialty coaches like yourself, like me, like, then it's going to be more of like, what's your optimal? Like,
Yes.
how do you want to feel? And know
Yeah.
that those are valid goals.
Yeah. I I think modern medicine has its place,
Yep.
specifically like in emergency cases. I think
Mhm.
it's fantastic. But why does it take you having an emergency to start taking care of yourself? You know,
Ooh, put that
why
on
not?
t-shirt.
When you realize, how deficient our food is of minerals and vitamins because of the farming practices and stuff. I mean, it is a deep rabbit hole to go down,
Yep.
but I mean, just those baby steps, find out functional labs of what you're deficient in. Because for a lot of people, they're like, I'm depressed. They go on antidepressants. Maybe you're
Mhm.
not depressed. Maybe you're actually just not digesting your food properly and you're eating food that you're very reactive to, and it's causing inflammation in your body, it's causing inflammation in your brain, it's causing inflammation, like your bones hurt. maybe it all comes down to just a couple of little deficiencies in your body, or maybe it's because you're not moving what, like you should be. There's just
Mhm.
little baby steps I want people to try before just diving into antidepressants. For me anyway, I have a big hate on for those sort of mood stabilizing drugs, just because I think they're so over prescribed when the issues might not even be clinical depression or clinical anxiety. It might
Mhm.
really just be some imbalances in your gut
Could be
or your
imbalance. It could
lifestyle.
be that you're not getting enough socialization. Did that how long
Yeah.
did the psychiatrist or doctor talk to you? And I think we're at a time where we don't listen to ourselves,
Yeah.
which also means that we're not good at listening with other people. Like it's a thing. It's probably one of the reasons why a lot of what I, especially just with my strictly health coaching clients, it's a lot of listening.
Mhm.
People don't feel like they're being listened to, and when they are, it's you get to
Mhm.
hear your words, you get to process them, and like that's really really important. I will give the example of one of my nutrition clients that getting her to eat breakfast was a big deal. Getting her to sit down and eat breakfast. Can we set aside 10 minutes? She literally told me that the first time she did it, she literally cried. And I think
Oh,
it's because it was like, oh my God, I never do this. I don't pay attention to what I'm eating and chewing and like eat like the whole experience of food, because usually we're like this and then we're
on
like
the
watching the
go.
screen and like we're not even enjoying the food that's in front of us,
Yeah, literally.
right?
I eat a lot in my car or on my couch. My husband will be like, "I'm gonna go sit at the table and eat my dinner." But I'm like, "Nah, I'm gonna eat on the couch." But it's like, and then I'm not paying attention. I'm literally just watching a show. But it's like making that time for yourself to just sit in the moment and eat. And that's why I liked that podcast I listened to the other morning, because she was talking about like setting aside those times. And like what you said, you don't need to earn any of these things. You deserve those things just for
Mhm.
existing. You deserve self care. You deserve 10 minutes of solitude. You deserve a healthy meal.
Yeah, because it's like, why do we, as women specifically,
Mhm.
I think we do a lot of dissociation.
Yes.
And we could get, I don't have the letters behind my name to talk about why you're dissociating, but it's a matter of saying like being more present and like I even notice it, like I've taught thousands of Pilates classes and stuff. And even when I'm like, put your hands on your belly, and I see people don't even want to do that. Like
Mhm.
it's like this dissociation with our bodies and with, I don't know, it's really crazy. And I feel like all of that, like I think the longer that you're in what you do, like, yes, do I know how to teach people how to squat and how to like make a meal plan? And yes, but that is so much later. It is like
Yeah.
now I feel like I'm really teaching people to like listen to themselves and take time
Yeah.
for themselves, because then that other stuff gets a lot easier because you have more purpose with it.
Mhm.
Like it makes more sense. Like you feel that you are worthy of it. But if you
Yeah.
can't do that other work, all that other stuff is just, it's kind of all bullshit, right?
Yeah.
It's not going to
Well,
work.
I mean, really, it is exactly like the episode coming out today about how uh, if you don't love yourself, you don't believe that you deserve anything good. And I know for a lot of us, it's like, oh, working out, oh, salad, oh, diet, whatever. But like when you realize that this is actually a gift that you're giving yourself, health is a luxury. I mean, we should all just have it, but it really is a luxury, especially for a North American like you or I. It's sort of not the norm. And we've talked about this before, of how when we call it you're going on a diet because you're eating healthy, or you're in a whatever because you're working out, but that's just how you should be living. It
Mhm.
shouldn't be something special. This is literally should just be what your life is.
Mhm. Yeah, because the less that you try to create like this whole situation, and also I think that it allows other people to project their opinions onto you and like,
Mhm.
"Oh, you're
Yeah.
doing all that." Hmm. It doesn't have to be a whole big thing. It can be something that's very, very small. And it's really
Mhm.
just a matter of you saying like yes to yourself and like getting to know yourself. Like, I
Yeah.
don't think we do that enough.
Mhm.
We shield ourselves behind so many things. Or we just think like, I just need to buy this product. I just need to do this.
Mhm.
I just need to go get my nails done. Nothing wrong with that. But like, do you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like we don't really look at the issue. Instead, we just say like, I'm just going to fix it with this.
I mean, take it from me. I get my nails done all the time. Does it make me feel better about myself? Not really. Honestly, not really. When I was laying around, maybe depressed on my couch, my nails were always done. Did I feel good? Not, no, not really. So I know that for me, it's like something was missing. That self care, yeah, self care is going and get your nails done if that's what does it for you.
Mhm.
But there has to be more to that self care than just what people see. I think it's like
Mhm.
more internal. And I don't know. I think at the end of the day, like whatever you do, someone's gonna have something to say about it, right? Someone's gonna say it's no good or it's this or it's that. I remember I had lost 75 pounds about 10 years ago.
Mhm.
I looked great. I looked real great actually. And I had a lot of people be like, "Oh, you're really skinny now." I'm like, what does that matter? Did I look great when I was 50 pounds overweight, 60 pounds overweight? Or like, what, and what does it matter if I'm in a zone that's great for my body? What does it matter what you think?
Mhm. I
But
talk about
everyone's
that.
always going to say something about anything. You're either too fat, you're too skinny, you're too busy, you're too lazy. It's like, it doesn't matter what you do. Someone's going to say something. So you might as well just do what makes you happy.
Yeah, and it's like none of their business of like what it is that you do. And I think it's, it's a societal thing that we do. And I talk about that a lot in the Pilates classes that I teach because it's an auditory class, right? And
Mhm,
so a lot of times, like I just helped open up a new studio in Indiana. I'll be back
mhm.
there for another month and a couple weeks. So you have a bunch of brand new people. And so literally everyone is just kind of like I yelled at them at one of the classes the other day. I was like, stop looking around. I
Yeah.
need you to focus on what you are doing. It doesn't matter what anybody else is doing because you know what? You guys are all going to be different anyways. You have
Mhm.
different flexibilities, your different heights, your different mobilities. Like, I want you to focus
Yeah.
on what it is that you do. And actually, the more that they do that, the more they enjoy because they're not worried about what other people are doing. If you're going to fall off the reformer, if you're doing something wrong, we're going to grab you and be like, hey, I need you to do it this way. But otherwise, I want you to feel it for yourself. And I think that that's like, it's such an important, especially for women in working out.
Mhm.
There is so many roadblocks. Like I know people that
Mhm.
don't want to go to the gym because they don't want to get looked at. And I absolutely understand that. Let's figure out an environment that's good for you. Even the people that are there, the people that come up to them and are like, I don't know. I think it's a matter of saying, whatever it is that you want to do, find a professional to work with for a little bit so you feel good about what you're doing. And
Yeah.
then you just kind of block all that other stuff out.
I
You know?
never really understood these people that didn't wanna get looked at the gym. Don't get me wrong, I wasn't in sports bras and booty shorts, but, like, I was in a tight little tank top and some tight pants, and I would go with my one friend, and she'd be in, like, big oversized T-shirts and sweats. And I'm like, "Ew, why are you wearing that? That's so uncomfortable for working out." And she's like, "I don't want people to see my body." And I never really thought about that until I put on all my weight back post chemo, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'll wear this to the gym, because it's big. I'll sweat my bag off in it, but like I am covered. And so I didn't understand that. But then, when you realize that actually nobody really cares anyway.
You always should work out where you feel like you're comfortable and things like
Yeah.
that, and do the workouts that you feel good about.
Yeah.
And I think about it all the time because I'm in gyms all the time and when I'm working out, and it's a matter of saying like, hey, that person, that's what they chose to wear. That is what they want to, that's their workout they want to
Yeah,
do.
totally.
And you gotta like, that's their thing. That's their time, you
Mhm.
know?
Like, I'm very lucky. I'm in a gym where it's not crazy busy and there's no teenagers. And not that there's anything wrong with teenagers, but a lot of them are there to socialize. And
Mhm.
there's definitely nobody there setting up the tripod and like staring at their butt and like flexing and stuff. Because I also think that that is very intimidating to people who might not be in the greatest shape or are new, feel uncomfortable in the gym, seeing these like super hot bodied models, boosting their Instagram and their TikTok accounts doing that is, I don't know, it's pretty intimidating. So I'm really happy that I don't go to a place like that.
Yeah, find a place. I mean, and I am we go to Planet Fitness and I gotta say, I think that community has like done a really good job because
Yeah.
first of all, they made it very accessible to pretty much anyone because of the price
Yeah, it's
points. I mean,
very
they
cheap,
literally
is it
just
not?
raised their prices after 20 years. It went from 10 to 15 for a single club. So I think that is amazing.
$15 a month?
Mhm.
Oh, at minimum, you're paying 50 something here a month.
Right? And they're everywhere.
Wow.
They're not
Wow.
everywhere, but they're a lot. And I think what's great about that is that you've created a community of people. And what's crazy is that you see people go, like in there, like me and my husband, we're doing our fitness tests and we're doing our intervals on the treadmill. You got people that are just doing the arm ergometer. Like you
Yeah,
have everybody. And I
that's
think what's
awesome.
amazing about that is they have actually, I think of all the other chains out there, is they created an environment that made it okay for anybody to come in.
I like that.
And I think that is like so crucial. And every so often, I really try to do it. Anytime I see an opportunity, especially with younger people, I will go up. So my husband will do the same. He'll go up to the guys, I'll go up to the girls and be like, hey, I'm a personal trainer. Like, hey, have you ever thought about doing it this way? I saw your back and I just,
Oh, wow.
hey, and then just kind of walk away and just, that's sort of like
Yeah.
it's like my good deed for the day that I try to do. But I think what's really great is being able to find an environment that you feel comfortable in, because
Yeah.
we want this to be the norm, that everyone goes somewhere
Mhm.
to be able to work out, whether
And
it's
you also want it to be your happy place too. If there's a
yeah,
lot of like stigma and negativity, dark clouds surrounding it, you're not going to want to go. You're going to like mentally talk yourself out of it every time you go there.
totally, yeah. And like wherever you go, like whether it's Pilates or cycling or a gym or whatever, going
Mhm.
outside, like it's like the good part. It's like
Mhm.
it's like our human habit for the day. Like you got to go
Mhm.
out and move. Like that's what we're made to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. I'm trying. I'm trying. I've always had this love-hate relationship with exercise.
Mhm.
Before it was like such work for me that I have created this negative thought about it, but I really do enjoy doing it. And so I don't know, like I have to get out of this like headspace. It's like you like being there, you feel great after. What is this negativity that surrounds it? So I'm getting there. It is a work in progress for sure. And certainly like as my body hurts more, like I did a metabolic screen, like where it did like how much muscle you have, how much fat percentage you have, all these things. And it said that my body is 42. And I was like, okay, well, I'm 38. So it's not a huge gap. At least I didn't say I was 62, but
Mhm.
I'd like my body to say that I'm 30, not
Yeah.
42. So baby steps for me, for sure. One of the joys of chemo that they forget to tell you about is that it just like steals all your muscle, just makes it waste
Yeah.
away. So baby steps, absolutely for me. I'm not diving into like 6-week booty boot camp where I'm like killing myself trying to get there, but any movement. Honestly, that's what my doctors and nurse practitioner at the cancer center kept telling me, like literally any movement is
Yep.
good movement. And someone said to me the other day, motion is lotion. I'm like,
Oh my
yeah,
god.
I like that.
I always think of I saw it on Instagram, like I don't even remember when, maybe years ago, and it was like a big old martini glass, and they were
Mhm.
talking about like every time you do a workout, and they had a little eye drop of water.
Mm,
Just every workout is a drop. Every workout is a
okay.
drop. And eventually you have this like chunk of water, but it takes a long time. And it is
Mhm.
back to, I'm just going to elaborate on your comment that you made, is that every workout counts.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that every workout means that it's going to lead to something, like it's going to lead to weight loss or lead to muscle gain or whatever it is. It's just a part of the bigger picture, because it's something that we want you doing forever. And then on the extreme side, I think about it a lot. I love watching the CrossFit games, even though I can't do like
Oh
any
yeah.
stuff because my back would break, but I love watching it. And you look at someone like Tia Claire Toomey, and if you don't know who she is, she's like
No.
won the CrossFit games like
Wow.
more than any other human. But she has also been training now for so many consecutive years, which
I'm gonna
means
look her up.
she just continues to get stronger and stronger and
And
stronger.
better. Yeah.
Right. And that's something that she's from Australia, and it's something that, it's the extreme example, but it's also the notion of saying that, like,
Mm.
if you just got up and walked every day for 15 minutes, that was going to change your body. And so
Oh, it
it's
does.
right. And it's just that matter of the consistency and just keeping and doing it and knowing that everything always adds up. Like it's
Mhm.
still going towards something. And so I think that's important for people to know, because I think sometimes
Mm.
I did an intro the other day at the Club Pilates I was teaching at, and it was like, well, how many sessions? And I'm like,
As
yeah,
many as it takes.
as many as it takes. Like 10
Mhm.
sessions, you're probably going to start to notice some things. 20, like we were kind of giving examples, but I'm also like, but don't get caught up in that, because
Mhm.
what kind of results are you talking about? Are you talking about mental? Are you talking
Yeah.
about how you're going to sleep better and how you're going to breathe better? Are we talking about
Literally.
like what your arms look like? Like there's a lot of ways to see results.
What did they call them? Like non-scale victories?
Yeah, and I
It's
do that. I point them out all the time. Like,
yeah.
so with back to my little cute little 87-year-old, she does a walk at the end of our session every time because obviously we want to focus on her walking and getting up. And
Yeah.
it's like, oh, you're shifting less now. And like, oh, you're picking up your
Mhm.
feet more now and your shoulders are staying back. Like all of these little things that she probably wouldn't notice,
Mhm.
but I do. And it's my job to point those things out.
That's why I think, measurements are important, pre-photos are important just
Yes.
because you live in your body every day. You don't know if it's different, but being able to see that progress is also really nice. And for me with blood, I do a 4-month analysis. I've seen people come back after 4 months and have huge transformation. One guy in particular, he really took everything to heart. He came back 40 pounds lighter he did 6 months, but he was pretty overweight. So, I mean, 40 pounds comes off a little faster than, someone like me who wants to lose that. But his blood looked amazing. It was not, his cells weren't overlapped. The liver stress was gone. The plaque, the crystalline was gone. Like it was beautiful. And I was like, what did you do? And he's like, I exercised. I slowed down. I meditated. I self cared. I drank more water. Surf. Amazing. Like not everyone looks like that after, but for someone who's actually focused on and 6 months is not a long time to have
Mm-mm.
like a huge transformation like that. So it was pretty inspiring to know that your body can, and he was quite overweight, like I said, to watch your body transform in such a short time is pretty awesome.
I love that. And I love all the little things that he did because another podcast I was on, maybe I don't remember if it was this year or last year, but we were talking about how like 90% of the stuff out there for fitness is for like 5% of the population.
Yeah, really.
I mean, all this like carb cycling and like supersetting and like all this shit. It's like, no, like we're going to
Mhm.
start with water. Like we're going to start with vegetables. Like we're going to start
Yeah.
with protein. Like
Sleep. Yeah.
sleep, like all of that other stuff is cool. It would be like I always compare it to what's a good example? It's like computers, right? Like Liz, I mean, I'm a fitness person. Like I know a lot of software because I worked at all these
Mhm.
different gyms, but like
Mhm.
I know about this much. So it was sort of
Right.
like when I
Yeah.
went to my web designer and she can do all of these things. And I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know what most of that is. And she's like, you want 3 pages on your website, right? Yes. Do you
Mhm.
want a logo? That sounds good. Do you want me to manage the back end? Perfect. That's all I need to know. I don't need to know all the other shit. I don't
Yeah.
care. I'm never going to
Yeah.
learn
Yeah.
it.
That's so true.
You're right.
Well, I mean, as I do every time I talk to you, like I feel so inspired. I really do feel like this shift in my head where it's like it took me some time to get ready and just over these last couple weeks it's like I just feel like I'm out of control in the wrong way that I've been pushed into the right way. It's like I want to be healthier. I want to like yeah, losing weight is great, but it's like that's not even my main motivation. I want to feel strong. I don't ever want to go through cancer again. And
Mhm.
it's like and if I do, I want my body to be strong enough to fight it again. And so I'm trying to remember that sometimes fitness and health isn't about looking hot in a bathing suit. I mean, don't get me wrong, that's nice, but that's sort of not the motivation. At this point, at almost 40, it's like I just want to be strong and I want to live to tell the tale, you know?
Yeah,
So
I
talking
love
to
that.
you is motivating. I've been talking to, a trainer here and I've been meal prepping in preparation. I know like, oh, I'm going to start on the first is like so cliche, but it's like at least I know that I've got it in my head that this is happening and I don't want to fail this time.
Yeah, and you know what? Every day is a new day, and that's the thing with health and fitness is that it's every day. And I forget, I don't remember time. Weight Watchers has like a quote that like you have like 27 choices every day for food.
Mhm.
You're not going to get them all right. And
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it's a matter of saying like what are the things that you can control, what's going to make you feel good, and really also I think allowing time to listen to yourself, right? I work with a
Yeah.
lot of former athletes and I've started to question a lot. It's like, why do we like to beat the shit out of ourselves? Like, where does that come from?
Yeah.
Like, why did we want to run 60 miles a week in college? Like, why do we want to run marathons? And
Mhm.
like, sometimes there's good, and sometimes there's a matter of saying, like, why do we do the things that we do? And I think
Yeah.
those of us that have been through, whether it's I went through back surgery, you went through cancer, obviously not the same thing at all. But I think when you go through big changes, it's something that sort of says, how is it that you want to live your life? You need
Mhm.
to make a change because it's
Yeah.
not working what you're doing. I think those are the times we would like to say that we don't want you to have to get to that point.
Mhm.
We would like
Yeah.
you to say, like, you know what? Today is a new day. What can I do right now?
Yeah.
Go from there, you know?
Totally. Well, I am so thankful that you've been here to talk and hopefully motivate others the way that I feel motivated right now. But why don't you let everybody know where they can find you?
Yeah. So I don't spend a ton of time on like social media. I am on Facebook and LinkedIn. That's about it. But my website's super easy, lizrodriguezcoaching.com.
Perfect.
If you go there, lizrodriguezcoaching.com/newsletter, if you want to get my newsletter.
Yes,
But
which
I'm
I
always
get.
available, right? Like book a call with me if you have questions. That's really, my goal is that I'm able to reach as many people as I can while I'm on this earth, whether it's
Mhm.
we work together or you get my newsletter and you learn something from that.
Mhm.
Seek me out so that I like to say, I can either find the information for you, I can guide you in the right direction towards someone else.
Love it. Well, thanks for doing what you do.
Thanks. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Well, I hope everyone is feeling motivated because I am. I'm going to go put my gym clothes on and I'm going to get my butt to the gym before work today. Something Liz and I had talked about was comparison. And I remembered a quote while we were talking that comparison is the thief of joy. And it's so true. You are not anybody else. You are you, and your story is uniquely you. So don't compare yourself to people you see on social media who, like, realistically are probably altered in some way, filtered or photoshopped or whatever. Don't compare yourself to your friends because they haven't gone through what you've gone through. Their bodies are different, their metabolisms are different, their lifestyles are different. So stop comparing yourself. Just go do what you can for you and baby steps. Start small and move. And I promise you're going to start feeling better. So thank you again to Liz Rodriguez for being here. Check her out at lizrodriguezcoaching.com. Book a call with her, follow along, get her newsletter. And I get her newsletter, and trust me, you're not going to be disappointed. So that's it for today. Make sure you check us out next week when I have another wonderful guest. Bye, everybody.